Animals are very, very diverse. Animals live all over the place in every ecosystem on Earth. Some animals have 4 legs, and some animals don't have any legs at all. Some animals are very big, like blue whales, and some are microscopic, that you need a microscope to see. There are different ways to classify animals. One way that we're going to look at right now is by classifying them by their symmetry or their body plan. This picture over here shows how we can classify animals using their body symmetry. So notice all the way here on the right, we have a tortoise. So this tortoise has a dotted line drawn across the middle of his body. Why is this line drawn here? It's drawn here because that is a line of symmetry. Take a look at the right side of the tortoise and the left side of the tortoise. Notice the right side is basically a mirror image of the left side. If you can draw just one line through an animal, then that animal has what is called bilateral symmetry. Now take a look at this creature over here in the middle. Right. This is a sea creature. This creature has what is called radial symmetry. So take a look at this creature. Let's suppose we rotate this creature. Right? If we take this creature and we turn it to the left or we turn it to the right, you can see that the different parts of this creature will overlap. Imagine if we took this creature and we rotated here to the right. Well, once we rotate it, the creature will line up with how it used to look before. So this is called radial symmetry. Now this creature over here is called a sponge. So this is a creature that lives in the ocean and filters water. You can see that this creature doesn't really have any symmetry at all. So this is called asymmetry. There are no lines that we can draw through this creature that divide the creature into mirror images or equal parts. This picture shows another example. This creature on the left, the beetle, has bilateral symmetry. This creature, a coral polyp, has radial symmetry. And this creature on the right has no symmetry. Another way that we can classify animals is by determining whether they have a backbone or do not have a backbone. So many creatures do not have a backbone. These creatures are called invertebrates. So, in fact, most animals on Earth, over 95% of all animal species, are invertebrates. These creatures over here on the right are some examples of invertebrates. You have all kinds of things: insects, spiders, earthworms, sponges, which are very, very simple kind of animals, sea anemones, and so on. These creatures, they reproduce in many different ways. Some invertebrates reproduce using a male and a female. Some invertebrates do not use this method. And some invertebrates sometimes reproduce using a male and a female, and sometimes one creature by itself can reproduce and turn into two. There are two very special kind of invertebrates that are called tunicates and lancelets. Now they're very unique because they have many characteristics that are similar to vertebrates. This creature over here is called a lancelet. It is an invertebrate because it does not have a backbone, but it has something similar to a backbone, which is called a notochord. The notochord is a hard but flexible rod that helps the animal to move around. So right here in the back of the animal, it has this thing called a notochord that provides it with some support. So it is still an invertebrate because this is not a true backbone, but this sort of fake backbone is kind of similar. So it has some characteristics in common with vertebrates, which have real backbones. Now, vertebrates are most of the animals that we are familiar with. Look over here on the right. We see fish, birds, reptiles, mammals, and amphibians. These animals, they have a backbone. If you were to dissect one of these animals, down its back you would see a clear backbone that is used to support these animals. This backbone is part of something called an endoskeleton. So what is a skeleton? A skeleton is something that supports an animal's body. Vertebrates have endoskeletons. That means their skeleton is inside of the body. For example, think about a person. A person does not have their bones on the outside of their body. That would be an exoskeleton. They have their bones inside their body. This is called an endoskeleton. So, for example, vertebrates, they all have a backbone. So these bones are called vertebrae. Invertebrates and vertebrates are classified separately, but some invertebrates can join with vertebrates to form another classification called chordates. The two creatures we talked about before, tunicates and lancelets, along with vertebrates, are together called the chordates.